This tutorial is going to show you how to create your visual mind map. Hopefully you have managed to collect the resources that we asked for last week. That was a page that has got your name printed in 4 different fonts on it, nice and big, and also a page of imagery symbolic of you, so logos, symbols, pictures, that sort of thing. And we're going to use these to draw from and work from today, so those are there as sources. Now the first thing that we're going to do is we are going to put our name in the middle of our page. Because it's a visual mind map that represents you, so it makes sense to have your name nice and big in the center of the page. So you've chosen 4 different fonts. What I would like you to do out of those fonts is choose your favorite one. And that is the one that you're going to draw from today. Now hopefully you managed to practice the grid method last lesson. It's exactly the same principle. We're copying this text today. So the first thing that you will need to do is to draw a grid around your chosen name, and the grid sizes once again are going to be 4 centimeters by 4 centimeters big, and you are aiming to get that as accurate and straight as possible. Good, so we've got a grid here now that's 4 centimeters by 4 centimeters big. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 squares across and 2 squares down. Now to make sure this line is nice and straight, I measured down from the top of the page a number that was above my text, and I put a little dot, measured down on the other side, put a dot, joined them up, so I knew that this top line of my grid is nice and straight. Then I can use this to then measure down 4, 8, both sides, and I can then use that to measure along as well. Okay, so you must make sure that you're not just guessing where the lines go, that you are measuring everything accurately to make sure you get a precise and accurate grid. Once I've done this, I can then draw a grid the same size onto my piece of paper that I'm going to be working on. So I want my name in the center of the page, so I'm going to draw myself very, very lightly a grid that is 2 squares down, and to be honest, I can just do 4 squares across, very, very lightly on my page, so I'm able to rub it out. And again, I'm going to measure down to make sure that I get my grid nice and straight. Good, so I now should, in the center of my piece of paper, or roughly around the center of my piece of paper, I should have a grid that is exactly the same size as the grid that I have drawn out over the text that I'm going to copy. And now it's exactly the same principle as before, where the idea is you are drawing out just one square at a time. This square here will match up directly with this one. This square here will match up directly with this one, and this square here will directly match up with this one, and so on, okay? So just focusing on one square at a time, and it does help to place the square that you're drawing next to where you are drawing your text. Good, so once you are happy with that, you can then rub out your grid lines that are around your letters. You shouldn't need to rub out inside the typography, because hopefully you've done it so light that when we do eventually come to adding colour, it shouldn't show through. So just try your best to rub out the grid that is around your letters. So now that I have drawn out my name as accurately as possible to my printout, I can then start to draw imagery symbolic of my identity, and that's why we asked you to collect pictures or images or logos that represent you. Now the idea is that you're going to draw around 3 or 4, absolute maximum 5, different imagery symbolic of you around your name, okay? Now there's a couple of things I want you to make sure you do with this. One is I want the images to be nice and big, okay? So no little tiny drawings dotted around your page. We're thinking about composition and using this page and the space well. The second thing is, I don't just want one image here dotted around, even if they're big. I want them to be overlapping and interacting with each other. So it's like a collection of images. So the images that I'm choosing to draw from today, I'm gonna do a sunshine because I love summer. I'm going to do this sunflower here because I like working in the garden, and I'm going to do my Instagram logo because I like photography and editing photographs. So I'm going to start with my Instagram logo, and like I said, I want it to be drawn nice and big, and these pictures are overlapping, and I want them, this word here, your name, to be overlapping the imagery that you're drawing. So for example, with this Instagram logo, I can draw it nice and big so it appears to be behind my name. So I'm just lightly going to map out the shape. Make sure you do it lightly in case you make a mistake, but I'm just going to lightly map out the shape of my Instagram logo, nice and big on my page. Good, so I've just lightly mapped out where my Instagram logo is going to go, and I've made it look like my name is in front of and overlapping that logo, so it's all interacting with each other. I'm next going to do my sunshine, and I'm going to draw it so that it appears to be coming out from behind my name and my logo. So again, I'm going to draw it nice and big. So some of this image is going to be covered. Good, so I've got my nice big sunshine there. I've just lightly and roughly mapped that out so that I'm deciding on the layout and composition to make sure it works before I start adding like all the detail and things like that. I think instead I'm going to give it a go at doing this TikTok logo, and I think I'm going to have it in this corner here. So if you want to do that, that's fine. If you want to change and play around with the composition a bit, that's okay, because we've done it so lightly that you can rub it out if you make any mistakes. So again, I'm going to lightly map out the shape of my TikTok logo so that it appears to be overlapping or beneath my imagery and my name. Good, so that seems to use the page better now. So once you're happy with that, you can then start to refine the shapes. Again, don't go pressing down really heavy with your pencil, because these images don't have thick black outlines, but you can just refine it and adjust it so that it looks nice and neat.